Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It's bright and early 4 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I wasn't going to make a video quite yet this morning, but I did something I knew was pointless that I knew I shouldn't do. I started watching the CPAC speeches, the Republican convention from Orlando, and I thought in the back of my head that I know that these people, there's nobody in this audience that I agree with. This is the extreme of America, and they're gonna say a lot of bizarre stuff, and it's really not in reality, and there's really no point in me watching it because it's just gonna aggravate me, and it's gonna drive me insane for no good reason. And I started watching. The reason I started watching it was Donald Trump Jr. As you know from my last couple of videos, he's caught my ire lately with the whole child immigrant children detainment facilities, and how he just completely leaves out his father's whole zero tolerance breaking apart families part of the equation. How he conveniently just leaves that out, and how he's equating these trailers to actual kids in cages. And so I saw clips featuring a golden Donald Trump statue. By now, you guys have all seen this. It looks like Bart Simpson. It's a shortened, uglier version of Donald Trump with I don't know if it's supposed to look like Bart Simpson, but it does. He's got red, white, and blue shorts, red, white, and blue blazer, I think, on a magic wand. I don't get it. I don't want to get it. But as soon as I saw it, it's a golden idol. They're rolling out. It's at the convention where they all are the cult of Donald Trump. And they're rolling out a golden idol of their dear leader. And I'm like, this is one of those moments where I say to myself, this has got to be a joke. This has got to be, this has got to be us Democrats, us liberals kind of trolling them. They must have snuck in there with this idol. This can't really be Donald Trump supporters not cognizant of what they're doing. They claim to be evangelicals and religious and everything. They don't see look, I'm not super religious, but I even know the story about the Israelites going into the desert and the golden lamb and Moses and thou shalt not create false idols, golden, I am a very jealous God and all that stuff. And here they are wheeling out a golden statue of Donald Trump. And I'm like, this has got to be a joke. No, it wasn't a joke. They don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. It's almost like they're trolling themselves. Like they're I don't get it. I don't know if they're actually reading the Bible, if they don't see the connection or what. That's not even important. I wanted to see about Donald Trump. He started talking about canceling the Muppets and Mr. Potato Head. Now, in the whole scheme of America and a pandemic and everything that's going on in my life and your life and, all across America, Mr. Potato Head and the Muppets, it really is. Those words shouldn't even be coming out of my mouth or anybody's mouth right now, in any serious fashion. But Donald Trump's talking about this. And sure enough, he's lying again. He's flat out lying. He's saying that the Muppets, I needed to see what he was saying. And he's saying the Muppets are canceled. Now, apparently, this is the gist of it. The Muppets are on Disney Plus, I think the channel is. Forgive me if I didn't get that correct. And they're showing old clips that might not have been, we watch Archie Bunker, we watch All in the Family, the Jeffersons, whatever, and there's stuff that was okay then, but it's a little touchy now with all the stuff we've gone through with the shooting, police interaction with public, and there's some topics that have gotten more touchy. There's just things, and we've progressed as a country, I think, where we've realized there's things that just isn't, it's not cool to say. It's not really, it's wrong. Just like back when Father Knows Best, the housewife was all happy in the kitchen, things have changed. Anyway, so the Muppets are on this channel, and I think there's like a clip of Johnny Cash singing in front of a Confederate flag. Now back then, I don't know, maybe they weren't cognizant of the. I don't know. I think back then it just racism was okay. It was more tolerated back in the 60s. All right, but they didn't cancel it. This was from a Muppet clip. They just put a little disclaimer, I think, or something, a aforementioned note. They didn't change the context of the Muppet clip at all, which is the opposite of canceling. They showed it as is. They didn't cancel anything. They might. I didn't see the disclaimer, but I read that there might have been a disclaimer before the clip, saying, "Well, this features some imagery that might be offensive," but they show you the whole thing. There's nothing canceled. So Donald Trump, once again, he's standing in front of everybody at CPAC, getting them all fired up. Oh my God, Mr. Potato Head is canceled. Mattel is part of the oligarchy that is big tech, and it's a big conspiracy. Then the left and big tech are trying to attack freedom and liberty, and oh my God. So it's not even true. Mr. Potato Head, I don't know, man. He's gender neutral. I'm not even going to talk about Mr. Potato Head. He's Mr. Potato Head. I don't know, and I don't care, first of all. I don't understand how he could be gender neutral. Is he just Potato Head? I don't know how they're going to make him gender neutral, and I really shouldn't even be talking about this. But the Muppets clip, the stuff about the Muppets being canceled was just an outright lie. It's the opposite of being canceled. They're showing the whole entire offensive thing from the 1960s and saying, well, we're going to show it to you. Just be aware what we're going to show you. So it's the opposite of being canceled. The opposite. And Donald Trump Jr. is at CPAC just lying, flat out lying, trying to get the steam up. And then he goes into he brings up, he just keeps going on. Hunter Biden is in China, just ridiculous stuff. Then he goes on to talk about, oh my God, Biden has already started bombing Syria. The bombing has already started. And I started thinking about that. The reason for the bombing, that there was an American contractor and an American soldier injured by Iranian militia. And wasn't Donald Trump really hardline on Iran? They stopped the talks and everything. So I don't understand quite what, Donald Trump Jr. is talking like this is a bad, oh my God, we started bombing them. It's like it's a bad, it was a terrible thing to do. And if he didn't do that, if he didn't respond to American contractor and soldier being injured and killed by Iranian militia, then he would have been screaming about that. Biden is soft on Iran. He's not doing anything. He's the Ayatollah's best friend. And, it was ridiculous to see Donald Trump Jr. there saying that responding to Iran's missile attacks on American contractors and responding to that with our own missile strike was a terrible thing. Hearing a Republican say that, it's like, boy, I'm in for some ridiculous stuff here. All right, so I unfortunately I kept watching. Josh Hawley was up next, and these guys all have whiny voices. And they're all playing the part of the comedian, playing to the crowd at Orlando. And these guys are not comedians, man. Even in front of this crowd, they are getting very little laughs. It's almost painful to watch this. And Josh Hawley's voice is breaking as he's whining and screaming about being canceled and how he voted against the Electoral College certification, and the whole crowd cheers. And then Cruz comes on and starts making jokes about Cancun. That Orlando is no Cancun. Ha, get it? I ran out on my constituents. I screwed them over. Ha ha! Hilarious. Oh man, at that point I kind of had to turn it off. one more thing. Ted Cruz went on to talk about how he started complaining about the pandemic and eating at restaurants and masks. And he started saying how we're going to have to wear masks for 300 more years, and we're going to have to wear 4, 5, 6 masks on at a time. You know, a gross exaggeration of Dr. Fauci saying we might have to continue mitigation tactics until everybody is vaccinated for 2021, maybe a little into 2022 to be on the safe side, so we get rid of this. But that turns into 300 years with Ted Cruz and 5 masks. And he goes on to make these jokes about it's eating in restaurants and complaining that skate parks in California are closed and the liberal Democrats don't want any joy from the kids. And oh, dear Lord. I should have known better than to watch this. Basically, it was just full of misinformation, lies, and one of the scariest parts too, Ted Cruz was talking about fighting again, and there was there was somebody like with the Braveheart, the thing from Braveheart, Mel Gibson. Somebody in the back started yelling liberty, and the crowd started chanting about fighting and liberty, you know, with the whole insurrection thing that went on. And then Ted Cruz goes on to talk about how we're not, you know, it's almost tongue-in-cheek. He's saying we're not, you know, the left portrays us as dangerous. And then he goes on to talk about the razor wire around the Capitol and how that's, you know, the left is just doing that for the media. We're not dangerous, you know, after January 6th. And talk of what could possibly come in the beginning of March. I did a video on that. There's certain dates that are sticking out in the future that it's all over TikTok, Facebook, here on YouTube, that these far-right extremists are still talking about doing this stuff. And Ted Cruz is saying it's all, you know, it's just the leftists, and they're just trying to have photo ops for the media who's on their side. And no, we're not dangerous. You know, and meanwhile, people in the back of the auditorium are screaming about fighting, and they're foaming at the mouth. Yeah, I shouldn't have watched this. You know, I shouldn't have watched it. Anyway, that's just my take on 3 speakers at CPAC. Ted Cruz, Josh Hawley, and Donald Trump Jr. All right, I'll be back later with another video. Do yourself a favor. Don't even watch the CPAC. Don't even watch it. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.